Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to day 39 of the Chronological Read Through the Bible. Today's commentary starts from chapter 22, verse 16 through chapter 24. And I just really wanted to highlight in today's commentary how the Lord is describing how the Hebrews will go up and possess the land, take possession of that which is a gift that he is giving to them. There is nothing that the people have done other than following the Lord to receive the land. It's no action that they did. There was nothing that they had to do of great grandeur for God to say, well, you do this action and I will give this to you, other than just follow him, to obey him, to make him Lord of their life. One of the interesting things is when you read of the boundaries which God put to the land, you will realize that the people of Israel never actually occupied all of those boundaries. And this is what I wanted to highlight today. Some would say, well, does that mean then that God failed? No, God doesn't fail. But what happened was the people fell short of taking possession of that which the Lord had given to them. And I wanted to point this out from the aspect of that the Lord gives us as believers promises, and the Lord has for us great riches and treasures in his kingdom, which too many times we do not take possession of. We do not take these up. I'm not speaking of a prosperity gospel. I'm speaking of you living in the fulfillment of God's promises to you. Having a peace of mind, living free of anxiety, living the life that he desires for us as believers to live, living the life of a soul winner. This isn't speaking of a particular position in the church. I'm not speaking of the fivefold ministries. It is our job, go forth into the world and preach the gospel, making disciples. That's our calling, and I want to encourage you to do that. Don't live in fear like the Hebrews did as they came out of Egypt. Think that for 40 years they wandered in the wilderness, and only a few, Joshua and Caleb, made it into the promised land. An entire generation of people died out because they did not believe what the Lord had promised to them. And then they fell short so many times, and we're going to read this later, not to be spoiling things, but they fell short so many times of where the Lord would tell them to wipe out this enemy, and they wouldn't, or take possession of this portion of land, and they wouldn't, or that the captain of the Lord's host, which was a pre-incarnation of Christ, would lead them. And there's so many times that they didn't follow. God told the people not to make a treaty with the people of the land. And then they allowed the Gibeonites to trick them. And I know I'm jumping way ahead. He allowed the Gibeonites to trick them into signing a treaty. And some would say, well, the Gibeonites were deceptive. Well, they will pay for their deception. But the Hebrew people, the thing that they did not do was go to the Lord in prayer. They just made a treaty. Pray about the things which the Lord puts before you. Don't just haphazardly approach those. I want to encourage you, take possession of that which God has given to you, and don't sit on the fence. I do hope that this has been a good day for you. Until tomorrow, God bless.